What's going on? It's week 17. This season, this year of Buzzword is just flying on by. I'm back again with the pop culture and sports for the week to see what Buzzword has for us. 10 questions each. Let's see what's going on in pop culture.
A 2020 TikTok dance revived interest in this singer's 2010 single, Cannibal. This singer claimed "You brought the flames and you put me through hell" in the lead single from her album Rainbow. For 10 points, what singer's 2017 hit, Praying, was inspired by abuse inflicted by producer Dr. Luke?
That's Kesha then. Yeah. All right, we got by on the recent pop music question. I'm not all that into Keisha, so I don't have much, or Kesha. Can't even pronounce her name right. I don't have much to say about her.
This character claims it's a dangerous thing to mistake speaking.
Oh, another 20. You love it. It's a dangerous thing to think speaking without thought is the same as speaking truth. That's his big line in Glass Onion. And they say this character because he's got his own film franchise. Like, the movies are just about him. Well, they're about him helping a woman take down rich people that are screwing her over. That's what the two movies have been about so far. Spoilers. Got another 20. I like it.
This musical's opening number says that every day is like an open door, every night is a fantasy.
Oh,
Harvey Fierstein originated this musical's...
Oh, that's Hairspray then. Because Harvey Fierstein is the main character's mother, who is normally played by a man in drag, starting with Harvey Fierstein. Edna, I think the character is. Yeah, Harvey Fierstein originated it in the musical. I believe Divine played the similar character in the original movie of Hairspray. And then John Travolta's in there somewhere, I think. Hairspray is not a thing I know a lot about.
In 1983, this former hotel manager was played by Daniel J. Travanti in the TV movie Adam. The Hunt and In Pursuit are shows hosted by this man, who also hosted 24 seasons of a show on Fox. He became an activist after the murder of his young son.
Oh. John Walsh. All right. That's a lesson in trivia why you don't put first names if you're not sure about them. But yeah, John Walsh, who was America's Most Wanted, because he tragically, his son was abducted and killed, and John Walsh did something about it.
This company's former developmental wing awarded Braun Breaker 2 separate 2022 championship titles. While signed to this company, Fergal Devitt and Joe Anawai have worked under the names Finn Balor and Roman Reigns.
W.E. Okay. When they're talking about, this company had a championship, I'm like, well, they have those Microsoft Excel competitions. Maybe it's like a Microsoft thing. Maybe. And then they just said some other nouns I didn't know, and then they said Finn Balor. While I am not a wrestling fan, there's a fair amount of video game personalities who are, and they get into wrestling stuff very often, so I know about Finn Balor.
This game's tutorial, set in Sedona, is led by Captain Jess Molina. At its launch, this Asobo Studios game accidentally depicted Buckingham Palace as an office block. Earth is rendered...
Yep, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Because this most recent version, they basically took all of the Earth data and made it, or generated a lot of the Earth data from satellite rendering and that 3D stuff you can see on Google Earth, And so that had some weird idiosyncrasies that came with it, including sensitive places like Buckingham Palace not rendering completely accurately, and some places that got their data a little wrong would end up being like Towers of Babel going all the way up into the heavens. I played my fair share of Flight Simulator on like Windows 95. I did not get into the most recent version of it.
The fade out of this song repeats lyrics that describe a face on a lover with a fire in his heart. Avoiding this song is the goal of the annual December game, Whamageddon. For 10 points, what...
It's Last Christmas, right? Yeah, Last Christmas. I gave you my heart. The very next day, you gave it away. Whamageddon. Little Christmas in May question from Buzzword.
This is the first film to feature Tangina Barons, who discusses an evil being called the Beast. This movie, which was Tobe Hooper's next film after The Funhouse, was co-written by Steven Spielberg. A girl, while looking at a TV set, says, "They're here."
Oh. Poltergeist, yeah. Yeah, I forget the Tobe Hooper. Like, you think about Tobe Hooper and you immediately jump to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You forget that he basically directed Poltergeist for Steven Spielberg because Spielberg was busy doing something else. Was that when he was working on Raiders? I don't know exactly, but like Steven Spielberg really liked the project, but didn't end up directing it.
On this show, Runa shapeshifts to resemble Megan Thee.
She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, 220s. Runa is the elf, a Asgardian elf who shapeshifts into Megan Thee Stallion to mess with one of the lawyers at the firm that she worked at before she got hulked. He was suing her for damages because he thought he was dating Megan Thee Stallion, so he was giving her money and whatnot. And then She-Hulk and Megan Thee Stallion twerked at the end of the episode, and everybody got mad.
The 1999 murder of this author's father, Fred, inspired his satirical novel, Lullaby. In this man's first published novel, Big Bob is a member of a
Yeah. It's Pal Hunick. I'm not gonna spell his name right. It's the Fight Club guy. Oh, they may not give me that. Oh, maybe I was very close. Maybe they'll just think it was a typo. Oh, that's so close. That's so close to a perfect week. Palhanwick. Oh, it's pronounced different. I don't know if they're going to give me that one. But yeah, it's Bob. From Fight Club. I knew it was Fight Club. I should have put in parentheses the Fight Club guy. And maybe that would have... I didn't want... It was like a perfect game there. I didn't want to mention it. And I may not end up getting one. But we'll see. That was a pretty good week. Folks. 220s. Some real best buzz possibilities since I'm in the 800s. In celerity on those. I'm downright giddy. Let's see if I can keep it going over in sports. That one seemed pretty good, right? Well, it was. Got the best buzz on Benoit Blanc. Was tied for celerity for best buzz on the She-Hulk one, but wasn't credited with it. I don't know how that works, but it doesn't matter. I got 20 points. And that was my best pop culture result of the year so far. 4th overall. It was pretty good. In celebration of this awesome week, how about you do me a favor and hit that like button and the subscribe button for more videos on the channel. And if you want to feel the giddiness that I feel about getting a best buzz, you can play Buzzword yourself over at naqt.com/buzzword. As promised, we find ourselves in sports.
In 1996, this object was replaced at halftime during the Dream Team's title game against Yugoslavia. Bundini Brown disputed that, after a man was refused by a segregated restaurant, this object was thrown into the Ohio River. For 10 points, what object did Muhammad Ali win at the 1960 Olympics?
What? Okay. I don't really get what they were going for there. They replaced the gold medals? So that's just a series of anecdotes about gold medals that I hadn't really heard any of. But we'll take it.
This man finished second in Cy Young voting to a teammate who had a 0.803 whip. He signed a $324 million deal after 2 years in Houston, where both he and Justin Verlander struck out 300-plus batters in 2019. For 10 points, what Yankees ace was accused of using spider...
I think that's Scherzer. Oh, Garrett Cole. Yeah, where's Scherzer now? Oh yeah, Scherzer's with the Mets. I confused the New York teams. I'm not sure though those other clues fit with Scherzer either. He may have never been an Astro. So my answer was flawed on multiple levels.
This player was blamed for the ACL injury that ended Trevor Simeon's tenure as a New York Jet. Marquise Pouncey kicked this man during a 2019 brawl in which he swung a helmet at Mason Rudolph. For 10 points, what 2017 number 1 overall pick out of Texas A&M is a Pro Bowl defensive end for the Browns?
Oh, it's Garrett? Is that Myles Garrett? Yeah, it is Myles Garrett. Not getting strong buzzes on the sports questions. I've gotten 2/3 of them, just not very decisively.
This man's backyard contains a half-scale replica of Pebble Beach's 7th hole. This college roommate of Fred Couples called Tiger Woods' first major victory a win for the ages at a tournament he dubbed a tradition unlike any...
So just Jim Nance? That is a tradition unlike any other. Jim Nance. Featured multiple times on How I Met Your Mother. That's the CBS connection. I think the giveaway for this one is going to be that he recently, this last Final Four final was the last one he was going to call. He's moving on from March Madness.
This man was an active Army reservist in a season in which he averaged 38.3 points and scored 61 points in an NBA Finals game. In 2009, he sued Donald Sterling, who fired him after a 22-year...
it's Elgin Baylor. As usual, I get most of my basketball knowledge from Secret Bases videos. And there was a video about the worst owner in the NBA, and to no one's surprise, it's Donald Sterling. And a lot of it had to do with him screwing over Elgin Baylor.
This country's only Olympic medalist won bronze in 2008 and 2012 in Taekwondo and is named Rollin. This Asian country gained test status in 2018 after it began building cricket stadiums in Jalalabad and Kandahar. For 10 points, in what country was kite flying banned by the...
Pakistan? Afghanistan. Yeah, they put cities that I should know, and I was actually thinking Afghanistan, and the kite runner is in Afghanistan, and then I thought it might have been Pakistan instead because they were talking about cricket, but they wouldn't have just started playing Test cricket in Pakistan since they elected a cricket player as their prime minister. That was just a bad flip on my part.
While concussed, this man scored the unconscious goal in a playoff win over Boston.
I think we're in
After
hockey.
he was high-sticked by Hal Lako, he punched a linesman, causing this man's 1955 suspension and a resulting fan riot. Henri was the brother of, for 10 points.
No, it's Rocket Richard. Maurice Richard, Rocket. They said the 50s, so you can move yourself into a particular time period there. And then a very, a very French brother with Henri, one of the best hockey players of the 1950s in the NHL, Rocket Richard. Probably a baseball team?
A coach of this team said, "I'm in favor of it," after being asked about his offensive line's execution.
Oh.
After leaving USC, John McKay coached this team, which joined the NFL at the same time as Seattle in 1976. A 26-game losing streak began the history of, for 10 points.
Oh, it's the Buccaneers. Historically bad team. When they started out, they're just a one of those medium teams that ebbs and flows. And then they just kind of rode Brady to that most recent Super Bowl win. I like their other Super Bowl team better, where you got Mike Allstott, Warren Sapp. Now that was a Super Bowl team. Former rivals. Used to be in the NFC Central with the Vikings, but no longer. Despite that rivalry, I don't really have strong feelings about the Buccaneers.
This man was 57 hits short of being the third member of the 3,000-hit 500-homer club. After this man was traded for Milt Pappas, he won the Triple Crown in 1966. The only MVP of both the National and American League was, for 10 points, what Hall of Famer, who was also MLB's first black manager.
Yeah, I think it ends in Son. I'm not sure it's Robinson. Frank Robinson, yep. Robinson's just such a famous name in baseball. You think it's always about Jackie, but yep. I'm always hesitant to say Frank Robinson because since they have the same name, I conflate him with Jackie Robinson, which I should be more confident about that. I remembered the clue that he won AL and NL MVP and then went on to be a manager, but just kind of forgot who he was until I pulled it out at the end there.
This guard, who in March 2023 had a career-high 51 points against the Pacers, is the only two-time NBA teammate of the year. This man, who is married to a former USWNT midfielder, is the brother of NBA players Aaron and Justin. For 10 points, what Bucks point guard spells his first name J-R-U-E?
J-R-U... I don't even... Again, I just don't know current basketball. Drew Holiday. Okay. Yep. Oh, I knew I was in trouble. I knew I was in trouble as soon as that question started, because I just don't know basketball that well. It was a pretty middling result in sports, but an excellent result in pop culture. Still a little giddy about it. 220s. Oh, I'm pretty happy about it. Anyway, thanks for watching. It was a good week. Fun week. Giddiness all around. We'll see you later.